Good morning, everybody, and welcome to the Lasham Daily Briefing, Wednesday, 19th of March. So we'll start off with this synoptic then. Uh, so we have this high pressure that's still over Central Europe, which is controlling the weather at the moment. There's quite a few active low pressures out in the Atlantic, which we may need to think about tomorrow or the day after. But at the moment, we're going to be left in a sort of southeasterly flow from this high pressure. Pretty clear, nice skies. That's as of midnight last night. But run that through to 12 o'clock today. The isobars are spread out a little bit, so it's a pretty slack southeasterly sort of flow over the area. And this actual low pressure is actually drifting further south down towards Spain, which could mean that it's been held off for a bit longer. So there's the cloud radar at the moment. There's frontal systems out here, quite active, as you can see, but we're in a beautiful little clear area at the moment, smack in the middle of it all, and long may it last. There's a little bit of rain down on the southwest approaches. It's not going to come anywhere near us. That's at the moment. It's probably associated with that frontal system that's been held at bay. And if I run through the Met Office predicted rain forecast for the day, you can see that it is actually pretty clear here all day. So the TAF from Odium then basically wind 1105 knots, cav OK, and if I run that through to Farnborough, they are giving us 0805 knots, 8,000 meters first, becoming between 9 o'clock and 10 o'clock, 10k plus cav OK. Spot winds are giving us 150 to 160, only 5 knots to the north and 15 knots to the south near the fronts. And wind is showing as a very gentle easterly flow pretty well all day at Lasham. Local forecast is giving us max temperature day around about 12. It winds from the east direction, be going a little bit further southeast later on, but only sort of 6 or 7 knots. So that's not going to, it's not going to force us onto runway 16, which is always a good thing. GFS is giving a max temperature today of 14 degrees with a dew point down at around about 5. If you're outside the window, it goes a very, very slack east-south easterly flow at the moment. There's a little bit of upper cloud, you notice that, out to the west, and that will be a feature later on in that it's probably going to keep the temperature 1 or 2 degrees lower than perhaps we would have liked. So temperature outside at the moment, 8 degrees with dew point down at 3. So if I run SkySight thermal prediction for the day, then basically if I run this through, the blue thermals around about 10 o'clock, and that's running through only to about 2,500 feet, you notice, maybe a little bit further to the west. It's getting a little bit higher, but in our local area, it's going to be around about 2,400 feet if we get there. So, and a bit of cumulus a little bit later, possibly, but it's not going to be very high, and it's going to be a little bit further to the north of us. SkySight is giving us basically a blue day. This is top cover I was mentioning earlier, and thickening up as the afternoon goes on, but predominantly a very, very weak chance of some blue thermals in the middle of the day. Wind around about 090, going around to 16, only about 5 knots a little bit later. And if I run through the SkySight cross section, you can see that this is the upper cloud I'm on about. It's just there, thickening up later on, but it is going to keep the temperature down a degree or so, which is probably going to curtail any cumulus we've got here. But they are talking about a little area between about 11 o'clock and 3 o'clock where there's going to be thermal activity, maybe to 1.9 knots perhaps, but only to about 1,800, 2,000 feet, thereabouts. NOTAM wise, the local NOTAMs, we've got the 18 is the RAT for UAS only down at Oakhanger. 22, there's flare firing at Rushmore, surface to 1,500 feet. 26 is flare firing at Farnham, surface to 1,500 feet. But that's only from 6 o'clock this evening. 27th, as usual, Ash Rangers active today, danger area 132, only to 850 feet. 28 is Luminance at Blackwater, but that's on until 9 o'clock tonight. And 30, model rocket firing at Barkham, surface to 700 feet, between 3:30 and 4:30 today. So if you look at the operational setup for today, then uh, final reminder, really, by the end of this week, you really ought to get your SPL applications in if you want them to be guaranteed on time for September deadline. So the cross section today, this is from Odium. Here's a top cover I mentioned, thickening up as the day goes on. Very, very small chance, nil or few cumulus. It's saying maybe 2,200 feet there or thereabouts. Wind starting off an easterly, going around slowly to southeasterly, maximum of 10 knots. Viz 30k or more. It's going to be a nice day. So we have our PA 31 departing at 12 o'clock. Southeast winds today, Q possible late morning. Better men than me will say we are going to have cumulus. I think it's going to be highly unlikely, but we may possibly have a bit of cumulus late morning with some weak thermals, maybe between about 11 o'clock and 3 o'clock. Top cover is going to be around most of the day, though. Grass is drying out nicely, but please be careful about the wheel brake use. We have 4 K21s on the booking system with instructors and students. We have a K21 required for the casual list. There's no trial flights today, but we have a K13 booked in the afternoon. Whoever's flying that will need to be aware that it might not be out, so get here in time to get it out yourself. Any remaining two-seaters are available, and SH4, SH8 and SH9 are booked throughout the day at various phases. We're going to set up on 09, winch on the south, airtow on the north. We're going to try taking off on the grass. Now, I think the grass is now dry enough for us to winch launch from the grass to the south, but landing both sides as normal. Airtow will be to the north. Watch out for canopy misting. Sunset today is going to be 6:15. Remind about the buggies and the simulator. So set up today then. Aerotow to the north, winch launch to the south. The cable's going to be dragged down the grass a little bit further away from the runway edge. It's starting to kick up stones down there, and I think the grass is dry enough now for us to be able to just pull the cables out without the spreader bar. So runways, the winch will be to the south, launch point to the south, and just the usual warning, please, about the cross runways and the loose stones there, and we'll be airtowing from the north. Okay, it's going to be a busy day today, so let's get out, make the most of it, and I'll see you out there shortly. Bye.